Canada's spy agency has been sounding the alarm about foreign interference for decades. In their annual reports, their public statements, they've argued that the Chinese government in particular is the #1 threat to Canada's national security. But it was this, a whole slew of media reports last year that caused the issue to really pick up steam. Suddenly, specifics about what modern foreign interference in Canada might actually look like and how China may have influenced the country's elections, it all became public. And politically, it was a real firecracker.
It's clear that Justin Trudeau has been covering up the interference of the authoritarian regime in Beijing.
The Prime Minister is more interested in protecting himself than protecting the electoral system.
A public inquiry looking into election meddling is what Trudeau's critics have been calling for basically since the beginning. But it's only now, all this time later, we finally arrived. So let's revisit a few key moments. How we got here, what we know this commission will be looking into, and the many, many things we don't know and maybe never will. This all kicked off last year after investigative reporting from Global News and the Globe and Mail, all using anonymous sources and leaked intelligence documents alleging that the Chinese government was supporting Canadian politicians that they considered friendly to Beijing.
Multiple sources tell Global News at least 11 candidates received clandestine funding from entities affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party.
Whether federal candidates received money from China, we have no information on that.
But not only that, the allegation was that China was also working to defeat Canadian candidates it considered unfriendly.
The Globe and Mail is reporting that Conservative MP Michael Chang and his family were targeted by a Chinese diplomat working in Toronto.
We should not be finding these things out from the Globe and Mail.
At one point, Global named 2 of the politicians that allegedly received support from Beijing, one of whom was, at the time, sitting Liberal MP Han Dong. And they alleged his influence in particular didn't just have to do with elections.
National security sources tell Global News Dong advised a Chinese diplomat in 2021 to delay the release of the Canadians Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig from a Chinese jail.
Because freeing them would supposedly help the Conservatives.
Now, we should be clear that CBC has not independently verified any of this. Dong denies the allegations against him and is now suing Global.
Let me be clear. What has been reported is false, and I will defend myself against these absolutely untrue claims.
But the underlying suggestion that Beijing was helping to elect a liberal government and that the government allegedly knew this was going on, that was something the opposition jumped on very quickly.
Justin Trudeau knew about this interference, and he covered it up because he benefited from it.
Information that was released on Monday through the media never made it to me, to my office, or to the minister at the time. Going forward, such information would absolutely have to be raised to the highest political levels.
All of this ignited calls for a full public review of exactly what happened and who knew what, when, a full year ago.
There needs to be an independent process that's public and transparent.
Headed by someone approved by all parties in the House of Commons.
The government responded to all of that pressure with this.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has appointed former Governor General David Johnston to investigate interference by the Chinese government in Canadian elections.
Not a public inquiry, instead an internal investigation into what happened and to figure out if a public inquiry was actually needed. In the end, Johnston agreed that yes, foreign governments are attempting to influence candidates and voters in Canada, but he saw no evidence the Liberal government ignored CSIS intelligence or that the election results were affected, and he recommended against a public inquiry.
The intelligence I have reviewed is and must remain secret. As a result, the reality is any credible public inquiry would not be public at all.
His point was, because so much of the relevant information was classified, a public inquiry would be pretty hollow. Like, you couldn't talk about all the best stuff, right? So the Johnston report could very well have been the end of all of this. And at the time, it seemed like it might be, except for one pretty big problem.
Poilievre is saying the appointment is completely a fake job. He also says David Johnston, of course, former Governor General, is in fact not impartial at all.
He is Justin Trudeau's ski buddy, his cottage neighbor, his family friend, and a member of the Trudeau Foundation.
The Prime Minister came out swinging against the Conservatives.
They are engaging in horrific, partisan attacks against a man of extraordinary integrity.
Those concerns about a potential conflict of interest and the fact that Johnston's report more or less asked Canadians to just trust him, since most of the evidence he looked at was classified and wasn't made public, that left a lot of people pretty underwhelmed.
Instead of doing that right thing, the government decided that they would do another process, therefore escalating this situation, forcing drips and drabs of information to be released through the media.
Polls showed Canadians were split. Half still wanted a public inquiry, and very few thought the government was being transparent about the whole thing. More than 6 months later, the government gave in. This time around, things look a bit different. For one, the commissioner leading this inquiry wasn't appointed by the government alone. Every major political party had the chance to weigh in, eventually agreeing on Quebec Judge Marie-Josée Hogg.
The commission lawyers and I are neutral and impartial. We represent the public interest, and our goal is to uncover the truth, whatever it may be.
But the scope is a little narrower, unlike Johnston's mandate, which gave him free rein to look into elections at all levels. This inquiry is entirely focused on the 2019 and 2021 federal elections. All those concerns swirling around about provincial or municipal elections, those won't be addressed.
The commission, in the first stage of the factual phase of its work, must examine whether China, Russia, or other actors, state or non-state, you probably know that the Commission is also interested by India, interfered in the 2019 and 2021 federal elections.
Before we even get to all of that, though, Commission needs to work out what it can and can't talk about publicly, which is what they're doing now. They've said the goal is to give the public a clear picture of the truth, but that might be easier said than done when they're working with top secret documents, national security law, and sources that in many cases are afraid of retaliation. The commissioner's final report is due at the end of this year.